Hey everybody, I'm gonna make fun of Chronexia and the 8 Seals. And I'm gonna do it in a way that reflects how Misty Chronexia made this anime and how it reflects how he's treating the people criticizing it. So, I'm not putting any effort into it. In fact, I just pulled out my phone and recorded this in one take. So if it's shit, it's shit. I don't really care. I'm gonna upload it anyways, and then when people criticize me for it, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say they don't understand because it's a pilot episode and the world hasn't been completely built yet. This was meant to be vague, guys. Come on. Give me a chance. We gave you a chance, Misty. Oh, sorry. Yeah, pretty much, Misty made a shit pilot episode, and then when people said it was shit, he reacted horribly by trying to explain himself as to why it's so bad, and then anyone who still gave him shit, he said he doesn't have any respect for them. Oh my god, Misty. Okay, so I'm actually making this video because one of my boys, Kachimon, made a video roasting Misty, and then Misty said he doesn't respect Kachimon because Kachimon made a video roasting Misty. Now Kachimon's video was mainly about how Misty was reacting to the shit he got. Well, I'm gonna be mainly talking about the things I disliked most in the video, or in the anime. So, now there's not much to really talk about because there's not really much going on in the anime. It's only 10 minutes long, and only two things happened in the entire fucking video, in the entire anime. Sorry. So yeah, the first problem I had was the very beginning, in Misty's attempt at narrating, in How to Train Your Dragon, Hiccup explains the worlds that they're in a very straightforward way, and it was very appealing to most people. I actually really liked the way he explained the world. And Misty tried to mimic that style, but, well, it seems like the voice actor that read it out loud was kind of just reading from a fucking encyclopedia about the world instead of actually just saying it with his own words, which, the fact that the way Hiccup said it in How to Train Your Dragon, he said it as if it were him just explaining the world to a friend. And that makes it really easy to listen to, and it makes it much more enjoyable instead of just, there are 4 different races. These are the races. Okay. That's it was really fucking simple. Oops, dropped my phone. Sorry, that sounded bad. And I don't blame, I understand why it's so bad because Misty got famous from showing anime tits on YouTube. So I'm not surprised he can't write. And usually, if there is a really obvious reason for something bad in an anime, I will say something about it, but I won't really harp on it. Well, Misty's acting like this anime's genius, and like he's a genius writer, when it's shit, and he's a shit writer, so I'm gonna harp on it, and just say that it's really boring, and does not seem natural at all. Like I said, it seems like he's reading from an encyclopedia, which is bad if you're reading from an encyclopedia, especially if your character is supposed to be a really egotistical cunt, pretty much. Which the character that was reading from the encyclopedia was supposed to be an egotistical cunt. He called himself a cool guy. So yeah, the beginning was really bad. Misty called this a world-building episode. You didn't really build a world for me. All I know is that this is not Earth. There are 4 races, and there's magic. Also, people can talk with gods sometimes, but gods are kind of cunts. So yeah, that's all we really know about the world. And after this narration happens, the main character, or apparently it's not the main character according to Misty, none of the characters were main characters. Which doesn't make sense because this is a pilot episode, Misty. Okay, you know, I'm going to talk about that in a minute, though. But, so pretty much, after the main character of this episode narrates what the world is, kind of, a battle begins. Main character goes berserk after some blonde bimbo dies, and then the episode is over. Well, one little thing happens that I thought was actually kind of cool before the episode ends, and that is that it goes to our world and our time with some guy who looks similar to the main character of this episode, which kind of suggests that this entire world is just in the imagination of this main character, which is kind of cool because I believe the main character's name is Misty, and the writer's name is Misty, so it's kind of like him writing the story, but through this guy's imagination. I thought that was actually pretty cool if that's what it is. If not, I don't really understand what the point of having that at the end was. But yeah, props to you on that, Misty, if that's the case. But none of these characters are main fucking characters? Are you serious, dude? First, you introduce an episode that is just all over the place and boring, with no fucking personality, and terrible world building. And then you tell me that none of the characters mean shit? So I literally just spent 10 minutes watching a video, an episode that tells me nothing about the rest of the series, and you beg for a second chance from fans? Misty, are you kidding me, bro? You know... Alright, I'm laughing to stall so I can think of something. But, I mean, I don't really have to say anything. You can understand why that's bad. He made an episode that means nothing to the rest of the story, didn't tell us about anything in the world other than the fact that there are 4 different races, but then he persisted to call this a world building episode, and then he tells us that none of the characters are important in the end other than the 2 people who are in our time, in our world. Or so we think. There's only about 10 seconds, but that's what it seems like. They're wearing modern clothes, they don't seem to have powers, everything seems to be quite normal and similar to our world. So it's something like our world. That is the only main character she said were in the episode, and they had 2 lines of dialogue in 10 minutes. So pretty much, to put it simply, this episode of Chronexia and the 8 Seals are 10 minutes of nothing happening, and Misty is going on a Twitter rampage because people are criticizing 10 minutes of nothing that apparently cost $5,000. And, well, the Patreon is still going well, so I'm assuming, or GoFundMe or whatever, so I'm assuming that there will be more episodes. And you know what? I want more episodes, because more episodes means potential that this could become good and that this shit episode was intentional, but it also means if it's not good, more videos to make and more hating on Misty, because I fucking hate Misty and I've had no reason to talk about it until now. So, yeah, bye.